Hey everybody, Engine Doc back with you. Hey, we've got another engine to look at today. I've got a 2-horse Novo that just finishing up a restoration on. And we've got a fuel pump issue with it. It runs, but the fuel pump doesn't pump all the time. You have to prime it up. It won't hold prime. And so we're going to go into it and see what's going on. I've got the pump off of it. This is a little Novo we're going to have for sale here. There's a data tag on it. It's 1924. I've got a few things to wrap up on it yet, but it runs pretty well, and it's going to be available here soon. But anyway, I'll take you over to the bench here. We'll get a good look at this fuel pump. Now, I've already taken the pump off, of course, and got it on the bench. Taken it, this couple of the fittings off of it. And basically how these work, if you're working on one of these, there's a packing in here. Matter of fact, I'll just take that off and show it to you. We'll just show you how these pumps work. And let me pop this out of here. There's the plunger. And let me put you on a stand here. I'll be right back. Okay, what we're looking at here, basically this is the plunger, and there's some packing material up in this nut that you put in there. I use graphite string. There's all different kinds of packing material. Some guys just use regular twine and put grease on it. I mean, this plunger is running in this bore here, and it moves up and down and moves the fuel, and you just want to keep the fuel from leaking out the top of it here. So anyway, pretty simple there, and that leaves you with a couple of bores here. This is the plunger bore, and this is the check ball bore. And the way I've got this fixed up, let me get rid of these things. The way I got this fixed is I use down in the tank on this one, I'm simplifying matters. I just use a rubber hose with a little weight on it down in the bottom of the tank. We call it a clunk. And that lays on the bottom of the tank and it picks up fuel. Now, inside this bore lies our problem. This is where the check balls reside, and there's a pair of them here. Let me find them. There they are. I don't know if you can see those or not. One of them is a little larger than the other one, and they are kind of rough looking. They've got some corrosion on them. I want to try to polish them up. But the problem lies within the bore here where they seat. It's gotten rusty down in there, and the seats are rough. And I don't know if I can get you a picture down in there or not, but if you've got one of these and you're working on it, you can take a flashlight and look down in there and see those seats. Mine are rusty and rough, and where the ball lays in the seat, it's not allowing hardly any kind of a seal. The pump will work at high speed, but if you want to pump it up by hand to get ready to start the engine, it won't pump by hand once the pump is empty. So there's leakage past the balls, and so I've got to come up with a plan to resurface the seats down there. Okay, I got your handheld again. See if we can get a look at those seats. What we've got is the small ball lays on a seat down underneath the large one, and you know, the guy that designed this has probably got his own island somewhere. But those seats are rough, so what we're going to do is I'm going to try to make a tool to go in there and resurface those seats. So we'll see what we can come up with here. Alright, let's see here. The small check ball is 245 in diameter. The large one is 372. 372. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a tool that is the diameter, almost the diameter of these balls, and put a taper on it and be able to go down in the bore. I may have to machine a guide to hold that straight to go down in the bore, and I'll either use a drill motor or just do it by hand and try to twist that with some compound on it, maybe some valve lapping compound, and try to resurface the seats down there. So I'll get busy, and I won't bore you with the details, but I'm going to make a mandrel to go in there that's tapered, and probably a guide bushing. Okay, here we're back. You know what? This isn't rocket science. Let's face it, this ball measures 246 thousandths. Let's call that a quarter of an inch. That's a quarter inch. So what I did is I took Sharpie, put some ink on my pen I just showed you in the lathe there. Brought it over and stuck it down the hole and tried to hold it center as I could. Give it a spin. Brought it out, and it's just touching barely on the outside, which of course it's going to. So got to measure and took some drill bits. Took a 5/16 drill bit, stuck it down in there, and that is a real good fit down in the lower bore where the lower taper is. So I took the drill bit over, put it in the lathe, cut a taper on it, my 35-degree angle, and I'm going to ink it up again here, and we'll let it dry here for a second. And we'll stick it in there. And being a 5/16 drilled bore, I don't need a bushing. That drill bit fits just fine. I'm going to give it a couple of turns in there against that seat, and pull it out and have a gander at it here. And it looks like it's hitting right in the center of my taper. So guess what? I'm going to put a little valve grinding compound on that, and we're going to work that first seat. Okay, I've set up a small chuck here. This is not the way you chuck up a drill bit, but for this job it is, I guess. I'll put a little valve grinding compound on here. See what happens. I don't want to get it on the shaft, I just want to get it out on the end out there. Out on the taper. Got off that. Stick it down in there. It's so tempting to put the motor on it though. But if the motor doesn't run true, so I'd rather just do it this way for a little bit. It should cut pretty fast. This is a high-speed steel here on the shank of the bit. And that's a cast iron down there, so we'll just work it here for a little bit. And like when you're doing valves, this reminds me of lapping valves. You lap a little bit, and you lift it up, set it back down. That gives you more grit on the surface. Got to remember, 1924, guys. This isn't rocket science. They didn't overthink these things too much. Simplicity. Well, we'll clean her out and see what we got here. I don't know if I can get a little piece of rag down there or not. Scrub it against there. Doesn't seem to want to. Let me boil it out of there. Okay. Let's just put a little more brake cleaner in there. Rinse that seat. Blow it off, take a look at it. Yeah, that's fairly shiny, but looks like I'm going to have to do another angle. I'm going to do a 45 this time. It's just down the bottom there. Okay, I've discovered that 60 degrees is the ideal angle for this. I'm just about there. I've had the ball in there and blue down in there, and it seemed to be holding pretty well. I want to give it one more polishing shot here and show you what I've done here. Stick the bit in there. And I just took a piece of hose, put on a driver for a socket, and I just drive the bit with that. Seems to work well. Lift and seat it back down in there every once in a while. And on your last little bit, just ease up on the pressure. Just keep easing up on it, easing up on it. So it's just barely touching. Then withdraw it. I'll wipe it off on a rag down here. Take some brake cleaner, blow it out. Take a look down in there. You begin to see shininess all the way around on the seat. Looks pretty good. So I think we're getting close. Don't try this at home, but this is what I do. Stick the ball in there, cover up the hole. Yep, it seems to be sealing up. Pull the ball back out. I'm going to run a little blue on it just to see where I'm at here. While that's wet, I'll stick it down in there and run it. Fairly narrow seat. But it don't take much. You don't want the ball to be sitting on a wide enough seat that it'll stick either. So where's my flashlight? There it is. Now, I've got blue all the way around. I think I'm going to pretty much call that a day on that one. I'll set up and do this top one for the larger ball now. Alright, now we've got a 29/64 drill bit with a 60-degree angle on it. Let's put some bluing on it. See if we're close on the angle. Well, shows wearing right in the middle. I'll try it some more here. Yeah. Take a look in there. Yeah, I see it. I think that's the correct angle, so I'm gonna grind on that one a little bit here. See bluing come out of there. boy, that looks good. Still have a few pits in that seat, but my angle's correct. I like that so well, I'm going to hit that again. We'll keep going here. Okay, we got her back on there. Camera set up here. And I got a light set up here so maybe you can see down in there. And this is where you prime it at. You just stroke the pump there. And, well, I'll tell you, it didn't take much to pump fuel up here. And I'm just barely stroking it there. The engine don't push it too far. And she's running right down the drain there, so that's good. And it appears to be holding. The fitting here just comes up in the bottom of the bowl, and if you don't have a good check ball seal, well, it'll just drain right back down and won't hold fuel up there at all. So we've got a little bit of a leak here. I need to tighten the packing a little bit, and yeah, I think it's going to work, so we'll see what's going on here. Alright, got that tight and dry now, and she is pumping like crazy. I'm going to call that a fix. Need to get the mag on it, see how it runs. So thanks for watching.